Well, grand rising to all of you, my family and friends, and of course, welcome to Yolanda Monet's Motivational Moment. Before I start, I must do my salutations. Aboragani, Assalamu alaikum, Ikaro. Now that I've done my salutations, let's get into the meat of the message for today. Today's message is watch how you talk to me. Language matters. Watch how you talk to me. Language matters. Language isn't just words. Even if dictionary states otherwise. Most of us communicate through words, yes, but they are written, spoken, and signed. But most communication comprises of facial expressions, physical cues, and speaking with your eyes, aka body language. Interrupted of its norm, however, language serves the social practice of understanding one another, which as a species, it is important to us, but it is not only the reason why we do it. Essentially, language is used to communicate ideas, and because of this, it harbors a power that is rarely conscious. Okay? Let's take an obvious example. Dictionaryship. Power, hunger, tyrants, and their cronies use language from words in televised speeches to images and propaganda to spread an idea or grander uncrucial support and gain admiration and fear from the masses. Meanwhile, others use language or words and speeches that are secret gatherings to images of anti-government posters and paraphernalia to disable that power by encouraging criticism and inspiring rebellion. Now, when we think of language, we only think of talking. But there are a lot of different languages that we speak, nonverbal. The way we look, the way our eyes contact, the way we interact with each other. All of those things coincide with language. Language is just not always spoken. So we have to realize that language consists of many different areas, facial expressions. It comprises of physical cues. Like, for instance, when you fold your arms, that means that you're closed off to the communication that's coming toward you. You don't want to hear it. You're not interested. And a lot of times we do the folding of the arms and we're not mad. We're not, we're actively listening. But the common gesture or the common thought that when a person has their arms folded means that they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to discuss this. It is not a part of their agenda. So nonverbal cues as well as verbal cues all go into play when we are considering talking about language. Language is it holds a vast volume of the intent. Okay? The ability to convey an idea and insult is an audience mind shows the power that language can have as a meaning of communication. A given idea can either be spread or die, change opinions or reinforce them, keep people in their place or reroute them, or even evolve into more ideas of our own. Or it can be stagnant or paralyzing thought. But to its core, the power of language is something bigger. While it may appear simplistic to say that we can use language to convey an idea, we can do the same with a counter idea. It's precisely how here where it is true. Elemental power lies as in a single idea. However dominant it may be, exists without oppression, criticism, or questioning. There's always done through language, whether it is voice, drawn, or otherwise communicated. In other words, language has a power to circumvent power, both negative and positive. For instance, the words that were used in our election. A lot of things were used as propaganda to scare people, to get people to side with. They played with people's thoughts and fears. A lot of things that were thrown at us were because of how society really is to its core, and how we think, oh, that's not going to happen. And what did it do? It happened, and not only happened, but now we are dealing with the after effects of that particular incident. So language holds a volume within us, not only us as human beings, but us as people. Language, when we talk about democracy, no single person or institution can monetize language, however powerful they may be, as language is by its nature democratic. Simply having the command of the language, written, spoken, signed, or drawn, means that you use it however we like and to communicate whatever you want. Having a democracy means I take what you say, I take my experiences, and I put them together and try to come to a common medium. Dictatorship says, I say what I say and you do what I say because I say it. Yeah. Seems like we're going through that right now. Now, there are challenges within a language. Sometimes when people speak, they don't know your history. They don't know your background. So when they speak, they're coming from their backgrounds, which is very different from yours, which could mean something totally different. And it could ignite disagreement and or it could ignite something that you wasn't looking for. So language it's very complicated, I will say. But learning to speak to someone and not speak at them is something totally different. If you want something to be done, we can work together to do it. But if you're ordering me to do something, then it's not going to get done. That's just the way it is. It's just not. We can work together to accomplish the same goal, but we can't dictate what we want and expect someone else to do it. It's like me wanting to be a billionaire and relying on my mom to make the money for me to become a millionaire. That's crazy. How can I become a millionaire unless I do the things that I need to do in order to put the things in place that I need to put in place so that I can become financially stable, financially wealthy? Language matters. How do you speak to yourself? Which is really, really big. How do you speak to yourself? Do you tell yourself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me? I am above and not beneath. Everywhere I step is mine. How do you speak to yourself? Then how you speak to yourself is often ways of how you speak to other people. Now, the way I speak to a 2-year-old is different than the way I speak to a 20-year-old, as a 15-year-old, 20-year-old, 30-year-old, 40, 50, 60, all the way up. It's different languages, different set of words, different cultures that must come into play when we think about language. Language is a vital part of our society, and how we use it is very important as well, because you can ignite a fire or you can put the fire out just by the power of the tongue. Even in the Word of God, it says there are life and death and the power of the tongue. So knowing how to control your mouth is very important. Learning how to control the words that you're saying. Stop, think. Is it right? Is it relevant? But is this person even worth it? Is it worth me giving my mind to or giving a piece of my mind? No, because some people are going to always be who they are. Uncooperative, mean, and malicious. You have the power to walk away and or leave that particular situation. Why? Because you don't have, it doesn't matter to you anymore. You can say and do whatever you want. I know where I stand on this situation, and there's nothing you can do or say to change it. I call myself an atmosphere changer. When I walk into a room, I will change the atmosphere of the room. I have done different tests to see if that was actually true, and it is. By the words that I say will challenge, place fear, place humility, democracy. All of those come into place when we are talking verbally, non-verbal, by our actions. All that stuff plays a role within the whole realm of what? Language. Language holds water. I remember there was a little saying that says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. That is a lie from the pit of hell. If I have a relationship with someone and our relationship is deep, I hold what you tell me to heart, I understand what you're saying, or I grew up with you, then your words do hurt. Words walk faster than their positive reinforcement does. Negative words, anyway, that comes out first. Everybody wants to hear about the negative stuff. Nobody wants to hear about the positive stuff. What? The positive stuff is boring. But you can change lives by being positive. You can change lives by just being the true you, the who you are not. If you are a truly negative person, then be you. And then it's up to me if I want to interact with you. Because negativity is not a part of my repertoire. I don't want to be negative. My life is positivity. I speak about positivity all the time. And I speak about language. And what what really burns my tush is don't accuse me of something that I haven't done. I've done a lot of things. But if I say I haven't done it, or I say if I haven't said it, then don't be adamant that I did. Prove to me that I said it. And I will prove to you that I didn't. If I didn't do it, then I will tell you, I did not do that. I did not say that. Now, what I did say was, yeah. No one can tell my story better than me. So if I am going to say something, believe you me, I'm going to come to you first, because I don't like repeating myself. I don't like hashing over the same old thing time and time and time again. I'm only going to say it once. Even with my children, I'm only going to say it once. I do not like to repeat myself. Now, if I have to repeat myself, by the third time I say it, I'm out. Because now I have to change my position in this relationship or whatever ship that we have. Communication is vital. And within a relationship, you have got to communicate. What things make you happy? What things make you sad? What things make you combobulated? What things make you want to move? What is your love language? How do you see me, or do you see me? How do you interact with me, or do you interact with me? Those are the questions that come into play when we talk about language. Language also identifies. Commanding a language is being understood, forces a power, feeling of belonging to a family, to a community, to a culture, and a country. It is essentially true when discussing national identity, but not all citizens can talk or having the national language. Outside of Europe, for instance, Dutch, English, and French, Portuguese, and Spanish are inescapably the languages of the coloners. As a language is never a political realm, especially when we know one stripped of our own. Now, before African Americans were brought over to America, we had our own language. We were of the Yoruba tribe. We spoke Arabic. We spoke Swahili. We spoke different languages before we were forced to learn the English of the Queen's English, before we were forced to come up here. And even with that, we took that language and we made it so different that we could understand it, coming from different society, different cultures, different religions, and different backgrounds. We took that and we put it into our language and we made something. For instance, if you go down south, they say, go get me some teat. Go get me some teat. Go in the kitchen, get some teat. Now, something to eat is something to eat. Over there is over there. Come here is come here. Don't talk to me. That means don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. So a lot of times when we use language, we don't understand the backgrounds of that. Why did we have to pick up that language? Why did we, quote unquote, cut off some of the Queen's English? Because we had to make it so that we could understand it. Coming from our culture, coming from our background was very different than the Anglo-Saxon, the Queen's language that was being taught. So we had to ingest it and then come up with different languages. And even in that, let's bring it 20th century. The drug language. People who partake in using or selling of drugs have a different language than regular English. They have different codes. They have different ways of saying things, like the ducks in the nest, or I just had a sandwich. That could mean I got a shipment that came in. The shipment is on the boat. The boat just came in. So there's a lot of different things that when we talk about language, and decoding language is very important. Knowing how to decode language. Okay, and then there's assumptions, compliances, stereotypes. Let's talk about stereotypes. Labels or stereotypes mislead us into thinking something or someone is only a particular way. Such assumptions abound, especially for groups we historically deem downtrodden: women, children, people of color, immigrants, religious groups, sexual minorities, so on and so forth. For girls and women's labels range from angry black woman, the dutiful wife, to feminist killjoy, or pretty princess. And when we repel these labels, unfortunately, we feed into the stereotype. Just because I disagree with you does not mean that I'm an angry black woman. We just have a disagreement on the same situation. So don't take me as being an angry black woman because I'm assertive. I am forceful. I'm not angry. Now, when I am angry, you will know. As a matter of fact, everybody in this situation will know once I'm angry. So let's not put labels on people because of stereotypes. Diversity. Generic names are conventional terms. They limit our perception on things, man or mankind. For instance, are supposed to be well encompassed with their forefront inclusion of diversity of humanity. Diversity, inclusion, equity, DEI. They are taking that out of everything. But that is something that is needed. Why? Because the Anglo-Saxon male, women didn't have rights. So the white woman didn't have rights. The black man surely did not have a right, even though he was a man, and the Anglo-Saxon man had all the rights. The black woman was at the bottom of the totem pole with rights. We had no rights of our bodies. We had no rights of our mouths. We had no rights with our children. We had no rights with anything. So DEI actually really helped the white women, and it helped black women and men, but majority of the white women benefit from DEI. Know your history. And when we use language, we should use it in a way that edifies, uplifts, and encourages. So with that being said, guys, I have got to go. Remember, you can always see all of my talks on YouTube, Yolanda Monet Hatter. I see you guys later. I love you, but God loves you more. But always remember, I'll see you at the top, because the bottom is way too crowded. Peace.